Attorney, hingin lang namin kayo ng inyong pananaw hinggil nga dito sa impeachment trial ng pangalawang Pangulo. Nasa day 9 na po tayo. Ano ho yung assessment po ninyo sa inyong personal na pananaw hinggil nga dito sa nagpapatuloy na impeachment trial ng Vice Presidente?
I've been monitoring the trial, and the latest witness that the prosecution presented is si NBI Director Atty. Matibag. Mukhang 2 araw ata na nasalang siya dyan,
Opo.
But having said that, may mga butas doon sa mga testimonya niya na hindi natin malaman kung bakit pinayagan pa rin, Like for example, I think there was one portion there is testimony na pinagdedebatehan ng bawat kampo, including the impeachment court, regarding the testimony of alleged testimony of Arturo Las Cañas. Ang hindi po natin maintindihan kung bakit pinayagan pa na yung mga pinagsasabi sa affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas, pinayagan to get into the records of the case. Kasi nga, as objected to by the defense, hindi lang hearsay ang sinabi, Pero sa akin palagi, hindi lang po hearsay yan. Hearsay twice detached. Mga 2 beses mahigit naging hearsay. Bakit po? Yung unang-una, hindi po ang kinote doon yung sinabi ni allegedly ang sinabi ni Arturo Las Cañas. Wala naman siya din si NBI Director Matibag doon sa panahon na sinabi ni Arturo Las Cañas. So yung palang hearsay na. Pangalawa, normally ang hearsay pala, nakarinig ka ng sinabi ng isang tao and then you testify that in court. So that's hearsay. Ito, twice detached kasi hindi nga niya narinig si Arturo Las Cañas na nagsabi ng mga ganong salita. And pinagbasihan nila doon sa isang statement na hindi naman notarized, hindi naman pinarmado, allegedly by the affiant Arturo Las Cañas. So doon pa lang po, doon sa mga bagay-bagay na yan, it's a little bit alarming to even consider those testimonies in an impeachment court. Kasi hindi yan pinapayagan sa ordinaryong kaso sa korte po.
Opo, attorney, mismo nga nabanggit yan na umamin si NBI Director Matibag na nakabase lamang po doon siya sa mga napanood niya mga balita at nabasa po niya mga balita hinggil nga po dito sa mga investigasyon o ito nga mga pahayag ni VP Sara. Pero isa po sa mga sinabi po niya, nung sabihin po ni Director Matibag na betrayal of public trust has already been consummated, hindi ba ito isang paghatol na mismo, attorney, tila paghatol sa isyong dapat pang pagdidesisyonan ng impeachment court?
Yun po ang opinion ni NBI Director Matibag, na consummated na daw yung paglabag betrayal of public trust. But that being said, it's actually up to the impeachment court to decide on the matter. Kasi nga, siya na mismo ang nagsasabi na pagdating sa term betrayal of public trust, hindi po yan basihan for them to proceed to investigate. If you would recall, on the cross-examination of the defense on Matibag, hindi naman sila nagsusupina ng tao na nilalagay nila yung alleged offense kung bakit sinasabi nila yung tao na on the basis of quote-unquote betrayal of public trust. Kasi nga yan, hindi offense. So if you make that conclusion, especially in an impeachment court, you're actually persuading the court that there was already a consummation of an offense. When in fact, you are not there to make an opinion. You're there to testify based on your personal knowledge.
Opo, opo. At parang pinagbatayan yata yung admission daw ni VP Sara doon sa video, yung kanyang naging press con nga noong November patungkol nga dito sa umano'y banta niya laban sa Pangulo, kay First Lady Lisa Marcos at kay dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Sa tingin po ninyo, ganun pa rin, hindi pa rin matibay na ebidensya dahil wala po siyang personal na knowledge about that, Attorney.
Insofar as NBI Director Matibag is concerned, tama po kayo. Wala po siyang personal knowledge on matters pertaining to what was said by VP Sara or the circumstances by which that was said. In fact, I commend the cross-examiner on the defense team where nilagyan ng konteksto yung allegedly sinabi ni VP Sara patungkol sa alleged grave threat, ano? Kasi pinalabas yung buong that segment, a little bit lengthy, at pinalabas yung kung bakit nasabi niya yan. And in that sense, may mga sinabi na ng mga banta sa buhay niya, sa pamilya niya, doon sa mga ginagawa sa gobyerno na hindi naman iniimbestiga. And kino-confirm din ni NBI Matibag na hindi nga iniimbestiga nila patungkol doon sa mga sinasabi ni VP Sara. So doon pa lang makita mo na selective if not biased yung testimony ni NBI Director Matibag patungkol dyan, that portion of his testimony at naipakita ng depensa on cross-examination kung bakit bias yung witness. By the way, para lang mailagay natin ang context yan,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Jade. Pagdating kasi sa presentation of evidence, yung prosecution po, ang obligasyon nila is to present the witness to prove their allegation. In this case, Article 4 of the Articles of Impeachment, yung alleged grave threat. Pagdating naman do sa depensa, ang obligasyon po ng depensa on cross-examination is to impeach the credibility of the witness as well as the credibility of the testimony given by the witness on direct examination. Yun po yung obligasyon ng depensa. And I'd like to commend the defense on that matter, particularly dito sa cross-examination ni NBI Director Matibag. Lalong-lalo na, ilagay ko pa sa dagdag na konteksto, head siya ng agency, abogado pa siya, matagal na siya nagpa-practice, and yet the cross-examiner was able to prove not just specific but relevant points na nagpapatunay na either selective, bias, or hindi tama yung basihan sa pagtitistigo niya. Lalong-lalo na doon sa sinabi ko kanina patungkol doon sa alleged statements ni Arturo Las Cañas, which should not have been given due course by the impeachment court.
Opo. Actually, isa po sa mga Senator Judge, si Senator Judge Robin Padilla ay kinwestiyon din ho ang prosecution patungkol nga dito kay Arturo Las Cañas. Sabi ng kinwestiyon ni Senator Robin Padilla, ang paggamit ng mga pahayag ni Arturo Las Cañas dahil sa umano'y magkakaibang salaysay nito sa nakaraan. At sa batas po daw, paano ba tinataya yung kredibilidad, attorney, ng isang testigong may magkakasulungat na pahayag?
Mahina yung credibility ng testigo na yan kasi paiba-iba yung sinasabi. Ang problema lang dito, ang nagtitistigo, hindi si Arturo Las Cañas. Yun ang problema dito. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, to twice detach yung testigo ni NBI Director Matibag kasi yung sinasabi niyang salungat, yung mga pinagsasalita ni Arturo Las Cañas, wala yung tao doon sa witness stand for us to really impeach the alleged affiant, yung alleged yung tao na nagsasabi doon sa mga paiba-iba yung mga sinasabi. Yun ang problema dito. At pag ganun ang gagawin at patuloy nating makikita ito sa impeachment proceeding, tali yung kamay ng depensa kasi they don't have the opportunity to cross-examine the person himself, as in this case, Arturo Las Cañas. So yun po ang problema rito sa prosesong ito.
Opo.
And if I may have to add,
Yes, sir.
if I may have to add, no, in a bigger context, itong impeachment trial na ito is both a judicial trial as well as a constitutional mechanism. But the second component of a constitutional mechanism speaks of an impeachment court kung saan yung mga senator judges ay mga politiko. Hindi po kagaya ito sa mga ordinaryong mga huwes sa ating hukuman. Mga politiko po ito, bit-bit nila on both sides of the political fence or whatever their political background or political affiliation may be, no? So bit-bit nila dito, dala-dala nila yung mga political biases nila dito sa impeachment court. That being said, kailangan talaga natin intindihin at ipagtibay yung judicial trial component nitong impeachment court. Kasi pag hindi natin sundin yung judicial standard ng paglilitis na ito in accordance with the rules of court, in accordance with the rules on evidence, ang maiiwan na lang po rito yung political proceeding. Talagang mahirap na kung doon na lang tayo magbabase sa mga konklusyon at eventually desisyon ng mga senator judges pagdating sa katapusan sa trial na ito. Kasi kahit na labag sa rules on evidence, pinapasok na natin yung mga kwento-kwentong ganyan. Yun ang, to me, that's very alarming. And I think that should be corrected, rectified, and hopefully that won't happen again as we proceed with the impeachment trial.
Kayo ho ba, attorney, ay sumasang-ayon din ho doon sa mga yung pahayag ni Senator Robin Hood Padilla, yung tanong niya doon kay sa prosecution kay Congresswoman Luis Trona, ang taong o testigong paiba-iba yung mga pahayag ay maituturing na sinungaling?
I fully agree with that, and that's precisely what I said earlier, ano? Kung si Arturo Las Cañas lang talaga ang nakaupo diyan, ay talagang makikita natin yung paiba-iba niya mga sinasabi, yung tinatawag natin sa rules on evidence, prior inconsistent statements. Ibig sabihin, pag mailagay yung testigo diyan sa harap ng impeachment court, ang sinabi ko na kanina, ang duty ng cross-examiner is gigibain, impeach the credibility of the witness on the basis of his tinatawag nating prior inconsistent statements. Yung paiba-iba yung mga sinasabi in the past. Tapos iba naman yung sasabihin niya sa harap ng hukuman. So doon pa lang, masisira na yung kredibilidad ng testigo. Kung masisira na yung kredibilidad ng testigo, ano pa ang silbi ng mga pinagsasabi ng testigo patungkol sa trial na ito. So we can already dismiss not only his credibility but also the credibility of his testimony insofar as what was testified to before the impeachment court.
Opo. At meron ding manifestasyon na itong si Senator Judge Robin Padilla na kung maaari ay yung prosecution ay magpresenta ng mga testigo tulad na lamang yung dalawang unang testigo ng NBI attorney na nagpresenta diyan po sa impeachment trial itong si NBI agent Calilong at NBI attorney Jeremy Lotok. May mga pending cases, dapat sana ay walang mga pending cases yung mga witnesses na haharap po sa impeachment trial. Ano ho yung pananaw niyo doon?
Tama po. Again, as I've said, that goes into the credibility of the witness. Naibanggit po, if I may recall, last week, naibanggit po ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla patungkol sa mga kaso ni Attorney Lotok, no? Na
Yes po.
kasama doon yung perjury. Kung tama yung narinig ko at kung tama yung nakalap na report ni Senator Judge Padilla na meron din siyang kasong perjury, talagang kung haharap ka na sa korte, bit-bit mo yung bagahe na meron ka palang kasong perjury, doon pa lang kahit na hindi ka na magsasalita, sira na yung kredibilidad mo. So, ibig sabihin, you have to do triple the time and the effort for you to prove that presenting yourself before the impeachment court, you are a credible witness. Kasi may bagahe ka na, kasi may kaso ka na perjury. Ang ibig po sabihin sa perjury, nanumpa ka na magsabi ng totoo sa harap ng hukuman, and yet, or that you have made a statement under oath which appears to be not true. So yun po yung kaso niya ngayon.
Opo. Bago ko ipasok kay partner attorney, um, para po sa inyo, yung naging pahayag din ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla ay may batayan ho ba yung kanyang obserbasyon na tila ba one-sided itong prosecution?
Pagbabasihan natin yung mga sagot ni, are you referring to Senator, NBI Director Matibag?
Yes po. Tinanong po ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla kasi itong si Congresswoman Luistro. At yun nga, ang naipahayag niya kahapon po yan, na doon sa testigo po ni NBI Director Matibag.
Opo. Sa akin naman I will not be surprised if the prosecution will have to present witnesses to prove their case. Kasi naniniwala yung prosecution na may basihan yung pagsusulong ng kaso against VP Sara before the Senate impeachment court. And I will not be surprised as regards the fact that they will get witnesses that will prove their case. So the long and short of the story is that kung bias man yung mga testigo na yan, bias in favor of the prosecution, that is expected of the prosecution. That having said, if I may, nangyari nga na last week, the other week when they planned to present Yusek Laika Lopez, I was surprised that they would have her as the prosecution's witness kasi I was pretty sure that she will not testify in favor of the prosecution, and yet they're getting her as a prosecution witness. So in that sense, they will not get witnesses who will not even attempt to prove the case for the prosecution. But in all proceeding kasi, and especially in this case, lalong-lalo na yung taong bayan ang nakikinig. Hindi lang po yung senator judges in front of the witness or witnesses being presented in court. But lalong-lalo na yung taong bayan na nakikinig. Mas mabuti na kung sino yung magtisisigo sa harap ng hukuman at sa harap ng taong bayan, hindi bias para mataas yung kredibilidad at katanggap-tanggap ng taong bayan yung mga pinagsasabi ng testigo.
Dito po tayo sa sinasabing dapat ang witness ay may personal knowledge po. Sa tingin niyo po, doon po sa pagtestigo nitong si Attorney Melvin Matibag, ang NBI Director, napatunayan ba nito yung sinasabi sa Rule 130, Section 22 ng Rules on Evidence na, quote-unquote, a witness can testify only to those facts which he knows of his personal knowledge which are derived from his own perception. Hindi nga kasama dito yung mga hearsay. Attorney, ano masasabi niyo po?
Opo, ang pagkaalam ko, he was asked to testify on the basis of the investigation conducted by the NBI. So doon pa lang po, makikita mo na merong kakulangan yung kredibilidad ng kanyang testimony. Kasi nga, as you said, it is not based on personal knowledge. Yung mga supposed report or events, places, tao na nakalap ng NBI, wala pong personal knowledge si NBI Director Matibag. Lalong-lalo na, if I may put it in its proper context, that he came in only after these events, places, and people were reported and investigated by the NBI. although sinasabi niya na patuloy yung pag-iimbestiga, yung mga sinasabi niya sa harap ng impeachment court, yun na po yung nakalap before he came into office. So again, that's adding to the lack of credibility on the part of NBI Director Matibag. Meaning, he is just testifying on the basis of reports. Mas maganda nga na kung sino yung naimbestiga ng NBI, siya yung haharap dito sa impeachment court. No? O kung sino man ang may hawak ng mga ebidensya na hawak na ngayon ng NBI, yung original source ng mga dokumento nito na may hawak nito, siya rin ang magtestigo sa NBI. So, yun po yung standard ng rules on evidence dito. Kaya ibabalikan ko lang, we need to be consistent on the application of the standards and rules on evidence and the rules of court. Kasi pag wala yan, ang maiiwan na lang po dito, ang makikita natin dito is a political proceeding by a Senate impeachment court. And I hope that will not happen. That is our prayer, that is our expectation na kailangan natin ipagtibay at susundin yung mga rules on evidence. Kasi sa nakikita, it's an impeachment court. It's a court of law, it's a court of record. And therefore, anong susundin natin nito na standard? It's the rules on evidence.
Opo. And attorney, nabanggit mo yung kredibilidad na salita. Kung ikaw po yung tatanungin, kasi sa unang part ng kanyang pagtestigo, ang sabi niya, abogado siya ng 29 na taon na, naging NBI director, naging dating dean, naging mga opisyal, no, ng panahon ni dating Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, tapos nitong kay dating Presidente Rodrigo Duterte, at ngayon hindi niya na-establish yung kredibilidad na magagamit dito sa kanyang pagtestigo sa impeachment trial, attorney.
As I've said earlier, when a witness testifies in court, he brings to the court his own credibility in relation to what he's supposed to testify on. So, meaning, if it is not based on personal knowledge, tagilid ka na dyan. If it's based on report of which you don't have any participation, tagilid ka na rin dyan. So, doon pa lang sa dalawang bagay na yan, whatever credential you may have, as you bring yourself to and before the impeachment court, it has to be in relation to what you would be testifying on. And doon, I don't see it insofar as NBI Director Matibag is concerned.
Opo.
Siguro, payo ko na lang din na kung ano yung nakalap nila sa NBI, yun lang din ang ititistigo niya. He is not to make any conclusion. Perhaps he can make an opinion on the matter, but I have to be careful in saying na whatever opinion that he's going to make, kasi head of agency siya, no less than the law enforcement body of the government of the Republic of the Philippines, kailangan pagbabasihan yung mga ebidensya na nakalap nila na credible naman. And just to give an example, the one cited in the case of Arturo Las Cañas, utterly without basis, I have to say that. At hindi ko nga maintindihan kung bakit kinonsider pa ng Senate Impeachment Court.
Opo, hindi pa kasama doon sa kini-question nga na hindi akma yung Rule 130, Section 22 na Rules on Evidence. Hindi pa kasama dito yung kanyang pagiging asawa ng isa sa mga endorser ng impeachment at yung mga nailathala sa kanyang column na pawang mga banat sa pangalawang Pangulo na subject nitong impeachment trial, attorney.
Yan ang hindi ko alam patungkol doon sa asawa niyang nag-endorse pala dito sa impeachment. I think delikadesa, no? dictates na he should not have appeared before the Senate impeachment court because no less than his spouse have endorsed the case that he's now testifying on.
Opo.
So,
And
mahirap yung ganun. At dagdag na bagahe yan na Admar pagdating sa ganong klaseng pagpipresenta ng ebidensya by the prosecution.
opo.
That is just my opinion. Ano?
Opo.
Pero pabigat yan. Mawala yung kredibilidad ng isang tao. Yung asawa mo pala ay isa sa mga nagsulong na i-file yung kaso sa Senate Impeachment Court.
Opo. Attorney, sa regular na korte po ba, mabigat po ba na ilatag na bilang mga witness yung mga individual na hanggang sa investigasyon lang? Doon lang yun yung ilalatag mo compare sa meron talagang yung involved mismo doon sa mga pinag-uusapan po, attorney. Halimbawa kasi dito puro taga NBI lang talaga, nabanggit mo nga wala nga yung yung sinasabing binantaan na nag-testify sa isang regular na korte. Common po ba yan or hindi lang yung mga nag-iimbestiga or bihira lang ipinipresenta yung mga nag-imbestiga sa isang kaso like kagaya po dito?
Tama po kayo. You are actually dealing with what you call weight, no? Yung bigat ng ebidensya o na pinipresenta sa korte. Mas mabigat yung ebidensya pag nanggagaling doon mismo sa taong nagsabi, kung may sinabi, kaysa doon sa tao na nakarinig na sinabi. In fact, if I may recall, in one of his answers to the question, when he was asked about when NBI Director Matibag was asked as regards kung merong destabilization plot ba or and then he was asked about a particular article of VP Sara that he is not after BBM or the presidency. And tama naman yung sagot ni Senator ni NBI Director Matibag na I cannot comment on that because I cannot read the state of mind of VP Sara. O di tama lang. So kung tama yung kung hopefully consistent lang siya doon sa sinasabi niya, then he cannot also read the mind or the state of mind of those people who appeared before the NBI when they conducted the investigation. So ang pinakamabigat na testigo patungkol doon sa naimbestiga nila, yung mga taong naimbestiga nila who will have to appear before the impeachment court.
Paano, attorney, na yung subject daw ng binantaan, mismong siya, nung tinanong siya sa kanyang podcast, kung makikipagbati ba siya or makikipag-reconcile siya sa mga Duterte, no? Mismong sinabi niyang bukas siya na makipag-reconcile sa mga Duterte. Ito pong pinatutungkulan natin ay si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. na naging subject nga na sinasabing kabilang sa binantaan daw ng Pangalawang Pangulo Sara Duterte. Mismo sabi niya, ito'y after na nung mga pahayag ng Pangalawang Pangulo, sabi niya bukas siya na makipag-reconcile. Tumutugma po ba yun sa grave threat? May nabantaan siya at nakaramdam siya ng mga pagbabanta, attorney?
As it appears, it is not consistent with somebody who would feel aggrieved, afraid, concerned about dun sa alleged pagbabanta sa buhay ng isang tao. Kung yun ang pagbabasihan natin. So, yun ang hindi natin maintindihan din kung bakit. I don't know if that was considered sa pagkahaba-haba ng testimony ni NBI Director Matibag. Was that also mentioned in yesterday's proceeding? But nevertheless, if that is the premise of your question, I fully agree with the observation that is not consistent of the behavior of somebody who feels afraid, concerned, or aggrieved on what may have been said against him.
Opo. Dito naman po sa pagtatanong ng depensa kay NBI Director Matibag, no, kung saan nabanggit ni Attorney Matibag yung salitang confidential. Hindi pwede bulgar dahil national security daw. Nakikita niyo po bang baka magamit din ito ng depensa attorney, lalo meron ng issue doon sa pagiging confidential, no? Lalo't sabi nga ng depensa, tinanong si Attorney Matibag kung hindi ka naniniwala sa konseptong hindi confidential ang katotohanan. Parang naibalik sa kanila yung naging pahayag ng prosekusyon na attorney. Ano masasabi niyo po?
Maganda yung pagkasabi ni Atty. Binluan dito sa yung defense counsel. Ibinilik niya lang yung sinabi ng prosecution. The truth is the truth confidential, although it was in the form of a question. Kasi nga, ang hinahanap natin dito, katotohanan. Ever since at the start, even at the start of trial, katotohanan ang hinahanap natin dito. And I'd like again to go back to the context. Pag, the threshold on what the truth may be is the rules on evidence. Yung evidence po, pabalik-balik natin maririnig yan. Yung definition ng evidence po under the rules of court, ang sinasabi po, evidence is the means sanctioned by the rules. Ibig sabihin, it's the means. Okay? Ang pamamaraan. Okay? Hindi po yung dokumento ang ebidensya, kung hindi yung pamamaraan kung paano po kinalap yung dokumento. Okay? Is the means sanctioned by these rules, the rules set by the impeachment court, in ascertaining in a judicial proceeding, hindi po in a political proceeding, in a judicial proceeding, the truth, okay, respecting a matter of fact. So, ibig sabihin, yung katotohanan base sa isang bagay na nangyari. Fact. It's a fact. So, that being said, pag yung isang bagay po, we have discussed this earlier about hearsay evidence, hindi na katanggap-tanggap at violative of the rules, wag na natin pagdidebatehan yan. We just have to strike it down kasi nga labag sa rules on evidence, and we can move on to other matters for them to prove the articles of impeachment. Kasi nga, paglabag yan sa batas, paglabag sa rules on evidence, ano pang pagbabasihan natin dito sa pagkakalap ng katotohanan? No? Yung katotohanan based on 3 elements of evidence. Admissibility, ibig sabihin, you mentioned about based on personal knowledge, yan po yung rules. May mga exception, hearsay. But the exception to the hearsay rule is among others, yung dying declaration, yung declaration against interest, magsasabi ka ng isang bagay kontra sa sarili mo, pwedeng tanggapin. No? O kaya mamamatay ka na, may sinabi ka, pwede rin i-consider yan. But that's an exception to the exception because the hearsay rule is an exception. So, yun po yung sinasabi ko na kailangan po natin itama yung application ng rules on evidence para maayos natin kung ano yung ebidensya na pwedeng katanggap-tanggap at eventually pag matapos yung trial, ano lang po yung i-consider ng mga senator judges when they arrive at their individual decision. Yun po. Ang problema rito, kahit na hindi katanggap-tanggap sa rules on evidence, nailabas na. So, yun po yung, to me, this is very concerning, no? And I hope, as I've said, it won't happen
Opo, balikan ko lang. Opo.
in future trials.
Attorney, balikan ko lang yung issue ng credibilidad kasi di ko alam kung napanood nyo yung audio video na kumalat sa social media na na-involve itong si Attorney Matibag po, no? Kung saan grabe yung mga pagmumura at meron pang banta, no? Na narinig natin. Na-question din ito ng depensa kay Attorney Matibag at umamin din siya na meron ding emotional outburst na nangyari din. Kaya nabanggit niya yung mga salitang iyon. Kung ihahambing ito sa na mga nailabas na mga salita ng pangalawang Pangulo, may nakikita po ba kayong similarity lalo na doon sa pagrarason po, Attorney, kung pagbabatayan yung sinabi ni Attorney Matibag po?
Actually, tama po kayo. Kung sana sinabi na lang ni Senator Ani, I keep on saying Senator, hindi ko alam kung magiging Senator na itong NBI Director, Matibag. Pero anyway, sana sinabi na lang ni NBI Director na yung sinabi po ni VP Sara ay emotional outburst din. Tingnan mo naman yung konteksto. Nandun siya sa loob ng Senado, iniipit at ginigipit sila. Sila, hindi lang po si Yusek Laika Lopez,
Sa
pati siya.
Kamara po,
na
hindi po
nandun
sa Senado,
loob ng-
Attorney.
sa Kamara. I'm sorry. Sa Kamara. Sa panahon na sinabi niya yan. So, doon pa lang, kitang-kita na it was a emotional outburst also. So, at saka marami pang sinabi si VP Sara doon na hindi tinugunan ng gobyerno. Kaya malalim yung hinaing ni VP Sara patungkol sa, hindi patungkol sa kanya, it's about governance. Sa dami ng mga nangyayari sa gobyerno at hindi inimbestiga ng gobyerno. And it's a very valid issue to raise insofar as what's happening in the country because you and I at yung mga nanonood ngayon are directly affected by what the government is doing or more particularly what the government is not doing and is supposed to do but did not or failed to do.
Opo. Mapapansin ba natin na hinahype lang talaga ito kasi ito po'y mismong si Vice President Sara Duterte yung kanilang nagiging subject nga, no? At kung sa issue ng politika, siya talagang contender for 2028. At doon sa pagtatanong po ng presiding officer, na real talk, no? Kung saan sabi, di ba, ang presidente, alam naman natin na meron talagang mga bantayan. Natanong ito kay kay Attorney Melvin Matibag, di ba consider na yan na may mga banta talaga, kaya nga sandamakmak yung mga gwardiya niyan, no? Ito ba mas lalo pang nagpalalim na parang hinaype lang ang issue dahil ang involved dito ay ang pangalawang Pangulo na naging dati kaalyado sa politika, ngayon ay nagiging banta na po nila, Attorney.
Tama po kayo doon sa observation na yan. At I would, if that is what the presiding officer said, I would fully agree on that one. Because it would be naive to consider that there is not a president in our country na walang banta sa buhay niya during the time that he served in office. Wala pong maniniwala dyan. Meron talagang banta yan sa lahat ng presidente na dumaan at nagsilbi sa bayan. No matter how kind you are, meron talagang banta yan. And for them to say na wala, huwag na kayo maniwala doon. Yun lang yun. And
Opo.
the other side of this context is that ang punot dulo nitong impeachment trial is that there is only one consequence, legal consequence. There is only one penalty. Removal from public office and kaakibat niyan, perpetual disqualification. Either to be appointed or elected in public office. So alam na natin kung saan patutungo itong trial na ito. Na despite the popularity of VP Sara, and when I say popularity, I will again put it in its proper context. Yung isa, sobrang taas na positive rating. Yung isa naman, sobrang baba in a negative rating. At nakikita natin na this is the only hurdle for VP Sara. I'm referring to the impeachment trial. This is the only hurdle na pag she would be able to overcome this impeachment, ay tuloy-tuloy na po tayo sa 2028.
Opo, attorney, nakikita niyo po ba na yung pattern naman, kasi napag-uusapan na lang natin yung pattern, na parang kinokonekta nila sa ICC at ang target ay ang pangalawang Pangulo. Parang ibang plano nila in case na hindi ma-impeach. Kasi nag-a-arise na naman. Ginamit yung sinasabing testimonya daw ni Las Cañas, mismo sa bibig ng prosecution. Ginamit ito ng ICC. Ngunit na-real talk siya ng presiding officer pero hindi tayo ICC, no? Impeachment court ito ng Senado. Meron po ba kayong nakikitang posibilidad na ganyan, na i-connecta naman sa ICC at baka maging ang pangalawang Pangulo na naman na magiging subject po nito, attorney?
By way of first impression, wala po akong nakitang connection, ano? But I like to cite, since you mentioned about the ICC, I like to cite the manifestation of Congresswoman Luistro. When the document pertaining to the alleged affidavit of Arturo Las Cañas was cited to be unnotarized and unsigned, correct me if I'm wrong because I was following the proceeding, si Congressman Luistro was saying na the ICC daw does not require an affidavit to be notarized or signed. Napakamot ako sa ulo doon when I heard it. Kasi we look up to the ICC as an institution who is supposed to be a global institution that addresses crimes that are beyond us to consider and try. And yet, yung threshold of evidence, kung totoo man yung sinabi, yung threshold of evidence for the ICC to consider sobrang baba, kahit na hindi notaryado, i-consider ng ICC, mahirap naman intindihin yun. At mahirap tanggapin kung ganon, no? And I don't suppose the ICC would agree to that statement. That being said, kung may kaugnayan man, naalala ko lang yung sinabi ng mga tao, learned jurist and even political analyst in saying na pag may mangyari sa dating Pangulo, talagang tataas yung rating at siguradong mananalo na si VP Sara. At kung uuwi naman ang dating Pangulo sa Pilipinas, ganun din ang mangyari. So whichever way, and I hope it will not happen, the former will not happen, meaning something happened to the former president in detention, but rather he will come back to the Philippines alive and well sa kanyang tahanan at in the embrace of the Filipino people, ay talagang sigurado na rin ay yung pagpapanalo ni VP Sara sa 2028.
Opo, huli na lang po, attorney, doon po sa pagpapaliwanag ng prosecution, lalo na mula kay Congressman Jervil Luistro na naging lead prosecutor, gusto ng Senator Judge na yes or no lang ang isagot. Pero pumalag siya dahil gusto niya bigyan ng konteksto. Pero doon sa pagdinig nila, doon sa Kamara, gusto nila yes or no lang. At wala nang ibang mga paliwanag na kung matatandaan natin, na-real talk din sila ni former President Rodrigo Duterte nang sinubukan nila ito sa kanya. Ano po masasabi niyo po dito ngayon? Taste of their own medicine ba, attorney?
Natawa ko dun sa sinabi mo, Admar, kasi nasa tabi ako ng dating Pangulo nung nag-appear siya sa Quadcom. Kaya sinisita na ni dating Pangulo patungkol doon sa mga tanong ng, maalala ko yung isang Makabayan Black party list rep, answerable by yes or no. At sinagot ng dating Pangulo, this is not a police investigation. Kung maalala ko, no, just to paraphrase. So he needs to explain why. But I like to separate that, no, insofar as the legislative investigation and the trial is concerned. Tama po na pagdating sa legislative investigation, kung ano mang gusto nilang mangyari in terms of process on the question and answer, if it's answerable by yes or no, well and good. If they need to explain and the congressman in a legislative investigation or hearing, then the resource person, kasi ang tawag sa kanila, resource person, may explain. And I think it's even appropriate for, again, I say, the resource person. Kaya nga inimbita sila to shed light on the subject matter of the legislative investigation or hearing. Pero dito po sa impeachment trial, ang papel lang po ng testigo is to answer question. Again, in the context and consistent with the standard of the rules and evidence. Sinabi na natin kanina na based on personal knowledge. So ibig sabihin kung lalong-lalo na sa mga tanong sa cross-examiner. Kasi sa cross-examination kasi, the cross-examiner is allowed to ask leading questions. And these leading questions is answerable by yes or no. The witness need not explain and is not supposed to explain. And if he or she has to explain, obligasyon yan ng prosecutor or the lawyer who presented the witness in court to ask the witness to explain on redirect but not on cross-examination. Kasi nga, when not asked to explain, yes and no lang ang sagot. Para hindi na mapahaba yung examination ng mga testigo sa harap ng impeachment court. So yun po yung papel ng testigo sa impeachment court. May kaibahan po doon sa papel ng resource person sa legislative investigation or hearing conducted either before the House of Representatives or the Philippine Senate.
So naramdaman na rin nila kung sila ay mag-iimbestiga kung yes or no lang yung ipasasagot. Pero huli na lang, ihabol ko na lang to, attorney. Di ba sabi nila yung grave threat is betrayal of public trust. Ngayon naman may pahayag po ang isang kongresista sa katauhan ni Congressman Abante na parang yung foreign trip daw ng pangalawang Pangulo, Sara Duterte, isang betrayal of public trust. Ano po masasabi niyo po rito?
Alam mo, it does not dignify a comment. Wala talaga. Hindi ko na talaga maintindihan yung mga sinasabi.
Opo. Oo. Attorney, huli na lang, next week, sona na po ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Inaasahan ba ninyong mababanggit po itong impeachment trial kay VP Sara Duterte? So far, ano po yung expectation po ninyo sa State of the Nation address ng Pangulo?
Wala po masyado akong expectation sa sona ng Pangulo. Alam mo kung bakit? Nauna yung result ng dalawang survey. Ibig sabihin, confirmatory. Kung iisang survey firm lang credible as it may be, na talaga ang baba ng satisfaction rating, approval rating, at saka trust rating ng Pangulo, at sinundan pa ng latest sa Pulse Asia survey after the SWS survey, what are we to expect sa SONA next week? No? So yung po ang more of the same, if I may, insofar as the last 4 SONAs is concerned. But coming into the SONA on Monday, you have 2 very credible results of how the president stands before the Filipino people. And it does not look good.